welcome to the show, everybody. Today I have a guest. You know him because he's with me a lot, Mr. Charlie Shaw. How you doing today, bud?
What's going on, Kev? Once again, thank you for bringing me on board, and you're gonna be on my show as well.
I can't wait. But what you got going on? I'm hearing that you have a new podcast.
Yep, started up this new one called Shield Up, and Shield Up is a podcast where we inspire you to conquer your inner sabotagers and identify five actually, and that's procrastination, anger, fear, ego, and doubt. Those are career killers. They're also killers in your personal and professional life. In each episode that we're going to produce, we're going to dive deep into the practical exercises and real life insight to help you build resilience and thrive in both personal and professional realms of your life. Um, we're geared up to address these issues with young professionals, seasoned listeners, someone in between jobs that's looking to change, looking for change in their life. For example, I'm in transformation as well as you from retirement into the civilian sector, where a lot of people think that we should just be retired and sitting on the couch or sitting on the porch, watching the dog run and watch the grass grow after we cut it. Well, that's not what we're doing. We're out here trying to, do our podcast. We're out here learning and growing each day. Um, well, for example, Shield Up offers the Shield Up concept offers tools to fortify for your mental and emotional defenses. Transformation challenges, transforming challenges into opportunities, leading to a more fulfilling life. Um, Now, you asked me earlier, what is Shield Up, right?
Yes, I did.
And well, Shield Up is the acronym that I came up with. And the acronym is a set of powerful concepts designed to help individuals confront and overcome common internal barriers. The first letter in Shield is self awareness. What do you get from that?
Oh, what I understand about myself and really watching a lot of other people is a lot of people are not self-aware.
Right. What I've identified is you're cultivating a deep understanding of personal strength, weaknesses, emotional triggers, and motivation. What motivates you? Self awareness is the foundation for recognizing patterns that lead to procrastination,
Yes.
self doubt, and other self sabotaging behaviors. Um,
There's a spectrum of actions that involve that.
right, right. And the H is humility. Humility. What do you get from that?
Well, like I said, I can only apply a lot of those things to me personally, and I know that uh, it's hard to be humble sometimes,
There you
and and that's all I can really say about that.
But do you realize when you embrace humility, it helps you learn and grow?
Yeah, because anything apparently that's hard about yourself, I mean, I see where you're going with this, because like it is so hard to be self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
Like we sometimes we have our deficiencies pointed out by other people, and it doesn't always have to be a negative thing.
No, it doesn't. you know, if you're careful and recognize these things, you might be able to recognize your limitations and put some value in the contribution that others give you. Corrective criticism, for example. Um, we should always, no matter how old we are, some people say, "Well, I'm grown. I can, figure it." No,
Yeah,
no,
no.
you have to maintain an openness, to feedback. And we're in our 50s, mid 50s at that. And I try to accept, feedback. Now, I don't necessarily have to take it, but it may be something that I can't identify. So I have to humble myself and,
if you're
take
not
that out.
if you're not You don't have to trot it on something new, but if you're presented with some information,
that can help you.
yeah, and whether it can help you, maybe it can help somebody else.
Right, can help somebody else.
Yeah, you can at least listen to it, and like you said,
Yeah.
not shut down and go, I'm grown, you can't tell me what to do.
Right.
That was some '80s version of you back before you were a teenager.
You know, it's very crucial in your personal and professional development, and you know, it's just something that people should, you know, not saying they should, but I'm saying that it's suggested. You should keep the openness to that. Integrity. Both of us are prior law enforcement. What do you think about integrity?
You know what I think about that, because I think it matters a lot, and I think in this society that we live in now, it's kind of not appreciated as much as it should be,
Right.
and not brought to the forefront as much as it should be.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I'm identifying and shield up is upholding a strong moral principles, ensuring all actions are aligning with your values. That's who you want people to identify you with, your values. Integrity involves honesty, ethical behavior, and consistency. We should use that guide as in our decision making and interactions with others each and every day.
No, don't you? And I don't want to get off topic, or maybe it's totally on topic, but I think what I've noticed is your moral compass these days, and I would say, I don't want to get into the generational thing, because I don't think it is generational. The moral compass is defined more by social media than I guess what it used to be. Like, people finding their moral compass, it seems like it's a little bit more difficult, because it seems like they're adopting other people's compasses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you're not careful, you can be led off course.
Yeah. And that's kind of, I see that, and it's like, and it all depends on what it is. Like, you can't possibly believe that or think that's right, right?
You have to, there's times where we have to caution things, and that leads to being open for feedback or being open to suggestions. People that have gone down that path before you, or people that may be able to just recognize that sometimes people may be leading you in a direction that really isn't good for you. Not saying that it's not good for somebody else, but that maybe not good for you.
Right.
And that's something that we have to be cognizant of.
I believe I'm a big, I don't say big, maybe, let's just say I'm aware of a lot of the conversations of the 60s and 70s involving like society, race, gender equality, that kind of
Right.
stuff. Like, I find that kind of history, even though it was in my lifetime, still pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at that kind of stuff, what I do appreciate is the fact that there were conversations that were had.
Right.
And there were debates that were had, and they didn't have to be political. They could just be on just people talking
Right.
about certain things, and it was a civil conversation. No one was mad at each other, and it kind of, when you listen to people like that, like, okay, well, I see their point, and I see their point too.
Right.
And then there's always like some sort of middle ground, which kind of define your moral compass. But as I find out that we seem to hit right after like the mid, now this is the world according to me, I'm sorry.
Right.
Right around like the 90s, like the late 90s, like we got away from like those kind of talk shows, and people weren't engaging verbally like they used to. And I think that's kind of a change in people being more spoon-fed as to what they thought versus them being able to formulate their own opinions.
That's a good point.
Yeah, just that's just me. I listen to the old, I don't know, maybe Malcolm X will be talking about something, and James Baldwin, like just those people who were talking to people that weren't like them, so they can both,
Give a better understanding of different cultures, or just a different person, somebody different from your everyday interaction, somebody that you don't normally interact with.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be all about. We don't do that today in 2024.
You're very right.
Yeah, I mean, we just, everything that's
Some
different.
people are doing it.
Well,
Some
yeah.
people are engaging with one another, but there are people that just tend to, just go into their, well, I'm just going to stay in my box, mind my business. They're not up for debates, or every conversation they're perceiving it to be a debate, and it's really not. It's just interacting with folks.
It's not made for you to change your mind about something, but maybe just give you a little different insight
Right.
to a world that you may not be familiar with.
Sure.
And I think I found that out when 9/11 happened, and we had to go do some like security and off-duty jobs at the mosque for people
Right.
who don't know us. We, like being in law enforcement, they, safety places, but actually went there and you talk to some of the people that attend the mosque, and
They were just in as much fear as
yeah,
people that weren't Muslim.
yeah, and I'm like, I don't know, I wasn't exposed to that, so I'm like listening to not to say they're not trying to convert you or something, but
Right.
educate you, and I really appreciated that because I left there knowing more than what happened when I went there.
Right.
But we just, not like you said, not that people aren't doing it, but it's like it should be the norm, and it's not, and it's a little disheartening, to be honest.
The next one is emotional control. What do you get from that? And this, it's just everyday thing, professional or
Yeah,
personal.
and this is I think we had a show about we just did a first responder crisis thing, and a lot of that is emotional control, even maybe sometimes when you shouldn't.
Right.
And it could be, it's a healthy thing in some ways, and it's detrimental in other ways, and I guess there needs to be some kind of balance.
We touched on it on the last, just previous podcast, where sometimes you need that release.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then there's sometimes where you got to control yourself. You have to, the way I articulate it is, you have to master the ability to manage emotional effectively, especially under stress, as law guys, or even not so much in our profession, but all professions, like running this center that we're doing our podcast on. People got to be able to deal with everyone.
There's some characters that come in here.
Of course there is. Emotional control will help prevent impulsive reaction to situations. Facilitating thoughtful responses and maintaining professionalisms in challenging situations. You remember I was talking to you about that? Mm-hmm. That's why I got kind of like, wait a minute, irregardless, you have to, irregardless of whatever situation that you approach with, there has to be some kind of professionalism with the general public, or somebody that's, paying you for your services, or you trying to provide a service for somebody, or trying to receive a service.
Right.
You should have some kind of professionalism along the way,
And you're right. I guess the road I was going down with that even earlier in testing on what you're talking about right now, it's like people just, and especially maybe in law enforcement, especially these days, is you need to be relatable.
Right.
You can't, whether it's law enforcement or whatever. Whenever I find people saying those people,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and it could be.
I want to know what those people
saying,
are.
Yeah, it could be cops saying it about like the old toxic dirtbag, this or that.
Yeah.
Somebody's always those people. You have to be leery and watch that sort of language. And it could be, those people could be anybody. But
It could be anyone.
yeah, when you find yourself saying those people,
Now you generalize.
you need to check yourself.
You're generalizing. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Because we're all different.
We're all those people.
Right. We're all those people. So explain to me what you mean by that. And it's okay to challenge people.
Yeah.
Do it respectfully.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you're a racist or
No.
any label you want to throw on somebody who's
No, I'm real
calling you
careful.
out.
I'm real careful putting a label on someone, because you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You have to ask more questions. Communication is a key.
In generalization, when somebody is asked a question, it doesn't have to be confrontational, but that's when the name calling will come out.
Right.
Because they're not prepared to emotionally respond verbally to what you're asking them, because normally what comes out of their mouth is going to be horrible.
And we can go back to the Eve. They're doing it out of emotions.
Right. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And then they're going to lose their integrity because
there you go.
they did it out of emotions.
Holy shit! There's something to what you're saying.
I'm just saying.
Shield up, man.
Shield up. When you out here moving around on this fine earth of ours, you got to shield up. You're not only protecting yourself, you're protecting your character.
Right.
But let me get to the next one. Leadership.
Ooh, you gonna ask me about what I think about leadership?
Yeah.
Severely lacking everywhere.
Okay.
Severely lacking everywhere.
So what I'm thinking is that. What I'm thinking you're saying is that folks need to develop leadership qualities that inspire and influence others positively.
Absolutely. That's what leadership is supposed to be.
Regardless of formal authority, meaning that, hey, even though I work for you, I should still be displaying leadership.
Yeah, because it doesn't mean anything. I can only give you like a work example from back in the day. Like I was in the fugitive unit, and we had a guy that transferred in, and he was a SWAT guy.
Mm-hmm.
He off the SWAT team, but he was with us now.
Right.
And we had a guy in the house who refused to come out. It's when I was going to have to knock on the door kind of thing. And we asked him, and I remember I asked him because we're still good friends to this day. I actually talked to him yesterday, and I asked him. He goes, "Well, we were kind of formulating a plan." I'm like, "So, what do you think?" And he was like, he kind of was hesitant because he didn't want to step on toes because he was a new guy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like,
dude, you're a subject expert at this.
You're the SWAT guy. Like, there's no ego here. There's
right.
no, we've been here, this and that. We want you to tell us what to do. What is the best case scenario?
Yeah.
What are we saying that may not be correct?
We gave you information. Lead us to the best solution.
You don't have to be of rank to lead. And
I'm glad you said that because I was going to give an example, and that was a very good example of it. Don't matter what your rank is. Any one of us could be a leader.
Right.
I travel to different regions of the world, different cities, and the first thing we're looking for is who's the local guy and who can lead us to the best solution for resolving the issue that we're here for.
Yeah, we were talking about kind of talking about that during another show, and it's like, the way your people look at you in a certain way. Like, if I got a guy that teaches a class on writing tickets, I'm going to go to him when I got a question about tickets. I'm not going to act like I know more than him because he works for me.
Well, good example. We've done exercise and all that conditioning just to get into the field that we're in. But now that we've been out of it for a while, and how old are our instructors at the CrossFit gym?
25 and 30.
And what do we call them?
Coach.
Coach is authoritative term for respecting somebody that's going to guide me in whatever I'm trying to accomplish, right?
Yeah.
How old are those folks?
Half our age.
Yeah.
But guess what?
But they're running things though.
Everything that we had just talked about, those couple examples that we gave, and at the age that we are able to take what they're saying and as an authoritative thing because we realize that they know what they're talking about.
They know what they're talking about, and we respect their knowledge.
Yeah, and my ego will not say, "Oh, he's just a kid and he doesn't know what he's talking about."
It's what I'm going to talk about in a later show. Is like I said, it's what's going to kill your ego. Ego will kill your career in a heartbeat. Yeah. And with this being said on leadership, includes fostering a vision, motivating others, and demonstrating accountability and responsibilities. And that's what we get out of our leaders. That's what we're expected to get out of our leaders.
Right. And once again, I think that's just, we just need more. I won't say we need more leaders. We need more people to project themselves as leaders. You can't just say I'm a leader. It's
No,
like people
no.
people need to do things
Yeah.
to say, hey, look, yeah, this, you know.
Well, it's like what the young lady that came in and took some photos of us, and what did she mention? She's like, our generation is just expecting things.
Yeah,
that,
she's like
happen
28.
without putting in the work. You over time you build a reputation as a leader. You don't just come out the box. Well, I'm ready now.
Yeah, I
No.
just got to look at my degree
Yeah,
or whatever.
see
It's
this?
like, come
I'm
on.
ready. No,
Yeah.
you have to build a foundation. Foundation is where it all starts, and then you start putting up your walls, and then your interiors, and your roof, and your interiors, and so on and so forth. And now, hey, look, you know what? That's the go-to right there. We're gonna get protection, and also we're gonna get shelter from that.
Well, you like me, you have been a go-to person. And to be a go-to person, you got to realize that you don't know everything.
Don't know everything, but we know where to go.
Thank you. You know where to go.
Or we
to get
don't know where to
answers.
go. We know to ask someone.
Exactly.
Yeah, I take a lot of trips. Do you think I leave without doing my homework before I do that?
Right. You only know as much as you know
Yeah.
because you've been exposed to a lot of things.
Right,
And
right.
that's the part of, there are people that can be exposed to things every day and still not know any more than
Still.
they did when they woke up in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's a travesty, but when you've seen something that's happened before and and it's, I guess you can call it leadership, but if I saw something that happened 5 years ago that I'm seeing repeat itself, because history always repeats itself,
Right.
what kind of quote unquote leader am I if I don't say anything?
To repeat the same, repeat a.
Why
something
would I
could possibly.
watch? Yeah, why would I watch somebody make the same mistake?
You can't do that.
Yeah, so to say something is providing a leadership quality. And once again, you don't need rank to do that. You just need somebody with some experience saying, hey, look.
Well, how about this? How about leading into the next one? Discipline. You should be disciplined enough to cultivating discipline to maintain focus on goals, adhere to standards, and follow through on commitments. Discipline is a key to overcoming procrastination and achieving long-term goals
Yep.
and objectives.
And you know what I get out of that D is not stepping on people's toes, letting them do their job.
Let them do their job.
Disciplining yourself to mind your own business until somebody needs you.
Yep. A lot of people want to intercept on that, but you have to, everything has some kind of form of discipline. It's just,
But some people find it really hard to watch somebody do something that they can do a lot faster. You're trying to like,
but it's like it's like what we were talking about earlier. With the guys that don't want to move off the squads and hey man, bring that other guy in. Be disciplined enough to train up the next gen, because we're not going to be here forever. Be disciplined enough to train up the next gen.
yeah, you want to see somebody jam up, and you
yeah.
want to see them.
You
help
want them to
out.
grow just like you did.
Yeah,
They're not going to cultivate their career on their own. Everybody has a part in watering and fertilizing each person's success. Don't think that you're going to be able to do this all on your own. That's why I'm doing this podcast. You're not going to be able to. We're not doing this on our own. We're trying to offer up a little friendly advice.
and some people need to hear it because it's like, hey, there are people I'll say even in the law enforcement community, the 15-year officer and or deputy right now would listen to what we're talking about right now, and I would like to think it would influence their future decision making in some fashion, good, bad, or indifferent. It's like, hey, I remember when as far as being disciplined, like listening is being very disciplined to listen to people. Because one of the things I heard, and I'm gonna just cop law enforcement thing is, there's an old adage, and it was like I think it was I'm gonna date myself, an Adam 12 TV show, and it's a proven fact. Cops do not look up. You right now could not tell me what this freaking ceiling looked like.
I'm hoping it's weight. Yeah, sure will.
Yeah, but guess what? It's not your normal instinct to
No,
do that.
no.
Especially in that
Yeah,
profession.
right.
And it's like, I made sure that I started telling people that because it happened to me one time. Like there's some guy in a tree listening
Take a
to
look
us
at your
talking.
surroundings.
Yeah, but we don't look up. And it's like, that's a discipline that I try to instill in people because that's just the nature of the business.
Right.
They've been saying that stuff since the 60s. And I'm like, I'm a prime culprit. I said that to you. I couldn't tell you what color that ceiling was. I never look up.
Well, the next thing is understanding. We really should deepen our understanding of complex situations, people's behaviors, and diverse perspectives.
Mhm.
This enhances empathy, improves conflict resolution, and helps navigate social interaction more effectively.
Everything you said was spot on.
Yeah. And the last one is persistence.
Nothing wrong with that.
Fostering resilience and tenacity to face challenges, setbacks without losing momentum. Persistence is crucial for pushing through moments of doubt and continuing efforts towards success. I think we're pretty persistent on our. We're persistent through our career because we made it to retirement. Not everyone is able to say that.
No.
But we're also persistent in cultivating the next generation
I think it's
and those that are still in the grind.
it is so important to give back.
Right.
I had a conversation with a friend of mine last week. We were just talking about maybe different gears in generations. Make that money. Sometimes you also need to give back
Right.
and help, like you said, help cultivate people and everything that goes back to Shield Up. It makes for what you're doing right here. Just makes society a better place if people identify, to be honest, their shortcomings.
It's nothing wrong with identifying. Listen. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Everything that the five concepts: the procrastination, the ego, the anger, fear, and doubt. I suffered through all that in my career.
Absolutely.
All of it. So if I'm being vulnerable, I'm telling you, I could have been a lot farther on, or maybe not. Maybe not. But for me to identify that I suffer from some of these things,
right.
I don't want the next person to do that. I
Yeah.
want them to grow off of my mistakes. I'm willing to share this with you.
Yeah.
Take it.
Let people think it is normal.
It's normal.
It's not normal to be whatever.
Right. But Kev, I appreciate you bringing me on. Let me introduce a new show.
Man, I love the fact that you go to places and you learn and you have there's things that you want to share.
Yeah.
And that's admirable and kind of all about what you're talking about right here. So your new podcast is
It's called Shield Up, and also I have a website. It's cshawpodcast.com. You can go on the website. I just go figure. I enrolled myself in the National Speaker Association. I'm going through their academy to try to develop more speaking skills because I'm not letting my ego get in the way of my shortcomings, and I don't want to procrastinate on delivering good messages out here because I'm not going to let my ego be the fear and cause me to be angry because I'm doubting myself. You saw how I put all that together?
I see that. Oh my God.
Doubt myself with being successful, putting this podcast out and doing speaking engagements to assist other people to be great. I read what we talked about before, where I want each and every person that I come in contact with throughout my life and to find their excellence. And that's all I want. I don't want much. That's all I want is I want everybody to be out here great, and I want everybody to be successful, and I want them to flourish in their careers, not just their career, but also in their personal life. Because a lot of this can be used for personal interactions with your family, friends, shop down the street, whatever the case may be. But it's basic and something that can be discussed. But appreciate your time, brother.
Man, always a pleasure to have you. And guess what? I can't wait to be on your show and we can talk about it some more.
No doubt. Thank you.
Thanks, man.